Oh, it's so bleak.
It's Mourinho, mate. That's Mourinho.
Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk podcast. It's been a couple of weeks. We've got lots to talk about. And who would I rather talk to it with? No one. No one I'd rather talk to football about than my old mucker, David Nichols. How are you, David Nichols?
I'm very good, thank you, sir. I'm very good. How are you? How's life?
I'm good. How's life? Oh, I watched the Fury fight this morning. I'd watched a bit of documentary on ITV, and I thought, oh, he's not going to win. I woke up to some good news that Tyson Fury absolutely trounced Deontay Wilder. And he had a little lick, didn't he? You've seen a little lick?
Oh, it's grim. Absolutely grim.
Tasting his blood, just lapping it up there.
He said that, didn't he? In the pre-press conferences, I was going to say. No, the pre-fight press conferences. Yeah, I want to taste blood. Absolutely disgusting. No one thought he literally meant
That's what he did. He just went. Wasn't there? It was in the, I want to say Euros or World Cup. It was gone to extra time, and I think it might have been Clattenburg. Just kind of. There's a clip of Clattenburg, must be really out of breath or really dehydrated. He kind of just flaps his tongue about, similar to Tyson Fury. To bring this conversation back to football, I think Clattenburg and Tyson Fury got something in common. They've both done some very disturbing tongue action live on TV.
Well, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Brilliant.
Focused and on it as usual.
Amazing. We had a little winter break, wasn't it, Josh? That's all we had.
Absolutely. Yeah.
1 week. We thought if the footballers can get it, people that talk about football can get it. So why not?
Let's go straight into that, Dave. In a bit of a news bit, we'll go. How do you reckon the winter break fared so far? Your thoughts on it? Did you mind the kind of staggered football nature of it? Because that's what we can judge so far. Because it will be longer term where we'll see the fatigue impacts, but the actual missing of kind of full rounds of football?
I did miss the full rounds of football, but obviously I don't get to watch. Well, it's hard because the Saturday 3:00 I can watch the pick 'em the games in Singapore, so I did miss having a big selection of games to watch. But it was staggered, so you actually got more kickoffs at it's 2:00. I think you got 2:00 kickoffs every Saturday and Sunday, which is great.
There's never a 3:00 kickoff. Yeah,
so that was good for me. But I'm not a fan. I think if you're doing the winter break, just give everybody the time off at the same time. I'm not completely sold on it. I'm not, and it's. I think there is that thing saying wait until the Euros to find out. Like, is it going to affect the international players and stuff like that? But people have come back from the winter break, and Kante got injured in the first game. Back from it. There's been some little niggly injuries all around other places. I'm not convinced. You?
No, I didn't mind the kind of the staggered football. It was kind of like, okay, that's fine. We're going to go straight back into European football and stuff like that. So I was, it was going to come back at some point. But I'm yet to be seen if there's going to be any benefit, because I remember previously when sometimes throughout the season, later on, you get it if you're out of some cup competitions, you have a couple of weeks break, and I think Spurs had that last year. And it was we came back and we were so much worse. It was I think it's that mental switching off. You got to switch back on. It's not just getting your legs rested. It's you got to actually get back here. It's like when you go back after a holiday at work. You're that first day back. You're oh god,
it's terrible. It is terrible. That first day back. I did put a poll out about this as well on Valentine's Day, so which is nice. And it did get a complete split. So the options were yes. I was like, is the winter break worth it? Yes, no, or wait for the Euros to find out. Wait for the Euros to find out came in third, and then it was an exact split between yes and no. So, football fans are split about the winter break.
Split, okay, all right. And you mentioned about injuries there. So a few players come back injured, and obviously Barcelona have managed to wangle getting an
absolute joke.
They've managed to wangle getting an emergency substitute. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and then they went and picked ex-Middlesbrough striker Braithwaite. Yeah, I mean
Martin Braithwaite. Yeah,
that would be. I mean, if he had played in the Premier League, that would be an interesting wiki file.
Yeah, I mean, when you call Martin Braithwaite, you think, oh, you're definitely from. You think Middlesbrough, but he's not actually from Middlesbrough. It's quite weird, isn't it?
Oh right, where's he from?
Denmark. He's Danish.
Oh yeah, he is Danish. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's already played. Apparently, he had a good game for Barcelona when Messi scored a hat-trick yesterday. But
he did.
Yeah, absolute ridiculous that they were able to sign someone. It's like, I can completely understand it for goalkeepers. It's a specialised position. You don't want to be playing Kyle Walker in goal for the rest of the season. But I mean, there's got to be options. I mean, Spurs don't have a fucking striker.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that everybody else is, because Leganes couldn't then sign. There's no knocking impact. It's a one-off.
Me off. Yeah, that's what pisses me off. Is that they're not actually. The rules state you're not allowed to sign someone from outside of your league or outside of your country. Sorry, outside of your national FA. So what they've done is they've just signed a striker who's done reasonably well this year for a relegation struggling team. Like, completely screwing up. It's just ridiculous. And especially when
meters release clause and
and it's especially stupid when you think, Barcelona have Barcelona B and Barcelona youth teams, and they have, is it La Masia, the one they have, La Masia?
Yeah, La Masia,
La Masia, yeah, which is famed as this thing. So there must be just chuck a youth player on the bench, chuck a B team player on the bench. It's absolutely ridiculous. Dead against it.
But at the same time, they've still got Messi and Griezmann.
Yeah.
It's not like, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
still got the best player in the world? Oh, okay. Right. Well, what about a £100 million striker? Have you got? Yeah, you got one of those as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
World Cup winning £100 million striker. You got one of them? Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Barcelona are funny. We spoke about recently around their managers they choose. They also love an absolute batshit crazy transfer, like once every season. Kevin Prince-Boateng, Martin Braithwaite. We got Paulinho. I'd say probably fits the oddball category. It's just like it reminds me of when you're on Football Manager and you've got like £10 million left to spend. You got, I suppose I've got a bit of a gap. I'll see what I can get. And you're like, well, he's got some good stats. He's not a well-rounded player, but
was it Dmitro Chigrinsky they signed from Shakhtar Donetsk?
Yes,
everyone knew he was amazing on Champ Manager and stuff.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh my god, they've actually signed him, and then they sold him back for like 2 years later for like no money.
Yeah, because his career was completely off the rails at that point. It's like going good. No.
Yeah.
I forgot about Chigrinsky. Yeah. What else happened in the news, Dave?
Man City.
Let's go for it. Let's talk about Man City. We missed the opportunity last week to talk about it, and so I'm sure everybody's aware, but just in case you're unaware, Man City, second breach of FFP. When they were, what was it, a couple of years ago, they had a reduced, probably about 5-6 years ago actually, they had a reduced Champions League squad for breaches. This time, banned from Europe for 2 years, £25 million of fines, and well, it's a bit of a shock, wasn't it? It was a bit of a, this is happening, and
yeah,
you reckon?
It's very, very interesting because obviously UEFA have gone all out this because there's the ongoing Man City UEFA history in there where Man City fans boo the anthem because of that Champions League reduction in squad size from previously, so they think there's a bit of a witch hunt against Man City, but you would think they can't really release that sort of punishment without having facts to back it up. But Man City clearly don't think they do because they've taken it to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. And then if Man City get it turned over in the Court of Arbitration for Sport, it's sort of saying you can take the piss out of financial fair play as long as you've got lawyers that are good enough to get you out of it. So, and that is, if they've done something wrong, which, there's always been a bit of scepticalness about it with all the deals and the sponsorship and stuff like that, then they need to be banned. It needs to go through. If they go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport and win an appeal, which means they haven't done anything wrong, everyone can take the piss out of UEFA, and the whole financial fair play thing will just crumble. It has to. Because
I can't see them getting away from this. I mean, is the room I've read this?
But do you think reduced, or do you think it will stick 2 years?
No, I think it'll be reduced. I think it'll be a 1 year thing, and but I read this week that they'd hired the same lawyers who postponed Brexit for a couple of occasions. Like, well, that means it's just going to happen. Just going to be delayed. It's just going to. They didn't stop Brexit. Brexit's still happening. So I think it'll still be a certain ban. I think 1 year, then 1 year suspended or something like that. But
yeah, okay.
I'm almost positive it's going to happen. I'm now intrigued about the ramifications. So say it is 2 years. who's going to want out? So do we want?
Well, Sterling's
players?
going to Madrid. We already know that because of the interview.
What?
Have you not seen that interview?
No.
There's Sterling chatting about how Real Madrid are a great club and Zidane's obviously a legend of the game, and it was before it's been done this week. The interview was done this week because they're playing each other, aren't they, in the Champions League? And he's pictured there with like the Real Madrid shirt over his one shoulder and the Man City shirt over another one. Definitely, he'd be gone. Sterling would be gone. Yeah.
I mean, there was the unfortunate timing of Bernardo Silva's interview about going back to Benfica that was done before the release of the news, released after the news, and it was like, I've got there's something like a hole in my heart. If I feel like there's a void, I need to fill it with going back to Benfica. I was like, lovely.
Go through the starting 11. Edison, is he going?
No, he'll stay.
He'll stay. Kyle Walker.
Stay. Kyle Walker wouldn't go abroad at this stage in his career, and he's there. He's raking the money in.
That's true. Yeah, Laporte.
Hey, do you know what? I can't see anyone leaving. I'm going through.
Really? Okay. Really?
No. The thing is, there's rumours of it being similar to kind of the Sporting Lisbon piece, where like kind of the fact that it's outside their hands. Would there be clauses in their contract saying if you don't qualify for Champions League football, you are available to leave for a £50 million? Say Kevin De Bruyne, if you don't qualify for Champions League, you're able to leave 50 million. It's like this is completely made up, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's clauses in contracts that relate to it. And then there'll also be clauses in contracts around not qualifying for Champions League means a reduced wage, and then there'll be the player will be like, it's not my fault we didn't qualify. We finished in the top 4. Pay me what you owe me.
That's very true. I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's.
And so then the knock-on impact I then think of is that obviously clubs put the clauses in contracts for sales, or players will put it in for sales, clubs will put it in for reduced wages because of reduced income. So say they can't reduce player wages, they're going to have to sell because they only turned £10 million of profit last year.
Really?
The revenue you get from this revenue obviously get from Champions League will be like 60-70 million. That won't all be profit, but I imagine that would turn that profit into a loss. If you have 2 years of losses, that is again another breach of financial fair play. So there will have to be some big money sales to cover this loss of revenue.
Do you reckon you could see some weird like, he's going to go on loan for 2 years? Like,
yeah, but you do see some transfers go through, which is like. Or a kind of they get a loan in from somewhere or something like that to cover it. Yeah, I can imagine there'll be some jiggery pokery around, but I wouldn't be surprised if they cut someone loose, maybe like a Jesus or something, get some serious cash in. And I don't know. I can see someone like Jesus. Jesus has always been kind of like, grabbing the winner yesterday. I can see there'll be some form of movement just to actually generate some cash, and then it obviously leads to what can they do in the transfer market, because they've got Silva, Aguero. I mean, will Phil Foden finally get some minutes? Who knows? It's a bit of a dodgy time for Man City.
It is. So, and you think it will stay? You think they'll get the full 2 years? It will stay, the 25 million fine and all that.
If they at least a year, they'll still be banned for. I can see there being. After a while, gets reduced down, similar to kind of like Chelsea. I can see it getting reduced down a bit.
So, further implications then. The appeal goes into the summer when the transfer window opens, and whilst it's always on appeal, the ruling stands. So, therefore, 5th place gets the Champions League spot. It will go down to 5th. What do you do if you're that club in 5th? Are you buying people thinking Champions League money's coming in, or are you waiting until the appeal is done, and then it turns out you're in the Champions League but you haven't actually spent any of the money that you're going to get from the Champions League?
I would imagine it would be the second year of the appeal would be reduced. So if the person who finishes 5th, they wouldn't want any uncertainty like that. It would be definitely banned for the following year, this coming year. And then it'll be the second year of it, which may be done. So, I mean, if there's any justice in the world, Spurs will get 5th position and get into the Champions League, because we got absolutely royally fucked when we finished 4th and not getting in the Champions League because Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012. That is what justice looks like.
Okay. That came out of nowhere.
Well, you can imagine there's a Spurs fan, and I'm sure any Spurs fans listening will feel that that is the only just way that this can turn out. If only it was Chelsea, which was getting banned, because that is what I feel would be some redemption there if that was to happen.
So if Man City win the Champions League this year, do they then just go, no, that was fine. We don't need to be in it for 2 years. That's all right.
I would say
win the Premier League twice in the 2 years because they're not in they don't have Champions League football, and then go back to the Champions League as the fact they've already won it.
Yeah, and that would appease some players there. So the De Bruyne's of this world, Aguero's. Well, I think Aguero's already said he'd stay for a while. That would appease them having that on their CV as well. That win.
And it's what the hierarchy want, isn't it? The chairman and the owners and stuff. They want to win the Champions League. That's what they want. And I think if they do win it this year, which isn't looking highly likely, but it is looking reasonable.
There'll be there a fighting chance, but it's just about turning it on, isn't it?
Yeah,
not on.
So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see what's going to happen with Man City. But
okay. Any other news? I made a note here. Ziyech to Chelsea. Linking to Chelsea in their transfer ban. Obviously, they even now lined up their first signing, Hakim Ziyech from Ajax. I'm a big fan. I thought he was very good against Spurs when I saw him, and when I've seen him, his barnstorming performances in the Champions League last year. Good signing. I think he's a good player, and for a decent fee, I think that'll be it just kind of goes well. Because I thought they'd been linked with Jadon Sancho, so that they can't have the ball. They can't have Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, Mason Mount.
Willian.
Willian's out of contract, so I can see that going. Pedro needs to go in. They seem like there's some players on the way out, but to have like 4 of the best young wingers in the world would be a little bit greedy, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Ziyech not so young, but
I think
still
the thing with Ziyech for me is that it's one of those where the fee is very good for someone of his quality. So why aren't other clubs been really interested? Like, there must be something personality-wise or training-wise or...
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that's what always you see on the socials. You see his fans go, "Whoa, we're waiting for him." And it's funny. Klopp spoke this week about Erling Haaland, who's just tearing up still. Scored his 40th goal of the season. And did you see this week his Champions League performance? I think it was in the Champions League. His speed.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, the counter attack.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, if you haven't checked it out, he ran 60 meters in 6 point something seconds, and he's got a very sprinter-like running style. It doesn't. It's lumbering, but it's clearly effective.
It looked so fucking weird. His sprinting style. It looked so awkward. It was ridiculous.
And you don't realise he's fast until you realise that he's running past people. It's like, it's the opposite to how I feel. I feel like I'm fast unless I'm running against someone, and then I realise I'm really slow.
But his stats, just as you mentioned it a little bit there, his stats are ridiculous in the Champions League as well, isn't it? Didn't he get Bundesliga? Sorry, he got Bundesliga Player of the Month. Yet he's played under an hour of football or something, or under 90 minutes of football. He's
averaging like a goal every 50 minutes or something this year. It's just absolutely insane. I can't even remember what my original point was. What was it?
I don't know. We're talking about Ziyech. No, you said Klopp about signing Haaland.
Klopp, yeah, and so it's about clubs going, or fans going, why don't we sign this player? And Klopp was like, we couldn't have even signed Haaland because he wanted to go to a top level club where he'd be almost guaranteed playing time.
Yeah,
and we could not offer that to him, and so that's why Dortmund fit the bill. He wanted to play in a top league, top club, and so it's not always done and dusted. A lot of it is always agent related as well.
It is.
It
is. Yeah, I hate agents. That's in the news as well, actually, isn't it? Is that they're trying to bring in a cap for agents now, how much they can get paid on a transfer, and everyone's kicking off. No, that's a lie. Agents are kicking off about it.
All you do is force illegal behaviour because.
Yeah,
agents will still have power. Clubs will still have players. Or
it would happen like the Haaland transfer, where his dad is actually his agent, but Raiola was a consultant. So there wouldn't be a cap on a consultancy fee.
No, absolutely. It's similar to how Man City's FFP became in. People were treated as consultants, and I think it was like Mancini was paid weirdly and stuff like that. So no, it's all you do is just make people try to be more creative.
Yeah,
it's promoting creativity. Right. Well, unless you have any other incredible news items, we'll move on to.
No, we can move on. That's good.
The quiz. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. It's quizzing time. Now, I've done something a little bit different, Dave.
You're
Obviously,
being creative.
I'm thinking outside the box. I'm being creative. So, obviously, we're on the socials. We're on Twitter. And I follow a few footballers on Twitter. And I thought, how well does Dave know footballers on Twitter? So
really badly.
I have taken 5 tweets from a certain footballer. And I'll read them out one by one. And you have a chance to guess each time. To guess which footballer has tweeted these tweets.
So are they tweets from
all the same
footballer?
One footballer.
Right, okay.
And each one should give you a bit more of a profile of the player.
Okay.
And see if you can work out who it is.
Oh, I'll put my pen and paper away, Josh. I don't need it for this one. Yeah, okay.
Okay, right. And maybe with like Wikifiles, you have to have a guess after each one, but okay. I was going to say don't tell me, but
I don't follow any footballers on Twitter.
Do you not?
I don't think so, no. I follow Peter Crouch and I follow some retired footballers and I follow a lot of football news outlets and things like that, but I don't really follow footballers, yeah.
I quite like following footballers, mainly on Instagram actually, because you get to see the inside of their life. Not the inside of their life, that sounds weird. But I'll tell you what, one footballer I do follow, and he's come into a bit of flack recently, and similar to the chat we're talking about, kind of Ziyech, why he wasn't signed by other players, clubs, is Troy Parrott, the 18-year-old Spurs striker. And it only dawned on me this week, actually, that I saw photos of him in Dubai during the season's winter break. And it struck me that the guy's played no professional football this year so far. So why are you going on a winter break?
Yeah.
Would it not be a better testament to your character if you stay back and train really hard and try and break into the first team?
Or, play for the under-23s and bag some goals or something.
Yeah. But I know I like to follow a footballer on Instagram. Obviously I follow Harry Kane and a fair few actually. Just to see. It's not that interesting actually. You get to see what their wives look like and their lives look like. You get a bit jealous. But
your birth, Josh, is that it? What their wives look like? You follow them on Instagram.
Family. You get to see their. I don't follow when you click on it. You go. People following their wives, just their wives. Like, why are you doing that? That's a bit weird. Right. This is the first tweet from
number 1.
From the unnamed. Did we ever know who the mystery footballer is? Who did that column for the Guardian?
Oh, what, the hidden footballer? What was he called? No, I don't know who it is, but I know what you're talking about. Oh no, it was Dave Kitson, wasn't it?
What's it?
I think it was Dave Kitson. Yeah, I think it got announced that it was Dave Kitson.
Okay. Right, so this is the first tweet. 17 seasons ago, I started to play in the Premier League. Never even a little break during the season. First year I move away and they start having a winter break. Fantastic.
Is it still a current player or are they retired?
They do play still.
Okay. But not in the Premier League?
Well, you can take me one from
Okay. Yeah, because they've obviously moved. 17 years ago in the Premier League, so... God, he must be really old towards the end of his career. So he's still playing. Okay.
I'll go on to the next one, Dave. Because
I'm not going to get it.
It's got the cogs turning. So this is in response to a question. They were asked a question by SebC_. Toughest direct opponent you ever played against, and one unusual name you didn't enjoy playing against for some reason. So the toughest opponent said probably Steven Gerrard. And the unusual name for Fabrice Muamba when he was at Bolton. He was man-marking me for 95 minutes, and even though he would even follow me to the toilet if needed, I end up scoring every game though.
So he's a centre midfielder. I'm going to say, because that's a tough battle would be Gerrard and Muamba. Okay, this is good, Josh. This is very innovative way of doing the quiz.
You. Okay, they asked another.
Sorry, hang on. I just want to clarify some facts.
Okay. Right.
From the 2 tweets I've had. So, 17 years ago he started in the Premier League. Is that what the tweet said, or did it just say 17 years ago?
17 seasons ago, I started to play in the Premier League.
Okay, so he started in the Prem. So I am writing stuff down. Started in the Prem. 17 years ago, and the year he leaves, they introduce a winter break. Is what he said.
Yeah.
So he left the Prem last summer. Okay. And he's still playing. You've told me that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think he's a central midfielder from that second tweet.
Yes.
Okay, let me have a little think. Let me just have a little. Get the cogs turning again.
Okay. Alright, yeah.
So he could be in the Championship.
Could be.
Because he's still leaving the Premier League. Gareth Barry.
Gareth Barry is not the right answer.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me go to the third tweet. This is another question. This one from Dugout. At Dugout. Who was your football idol growing up? And they respond, Figo and Guardiola.
Oh, bloody hell! It must be a central midfielder. Oh, maybe. Oh God, this is. If anybody listening has got this, I'll be well impressed. I'm saying. Okay, so he's obviously. So that means he would have come through the ranks when obviously Figo was probably at Madrid and Guardiola was at Barcelona. Does that mean he's Spanish? Xavi Alonso isn't still playing, is he? No.
No.
And Xavi Alonso wasn't in the Prem when it first in 17 seasons ago.
Shall I go on for the?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so fourth tweet. 10 years ago today, with one of the most enjoyable games of my career, becoming the first English club to win at San Siro. Hashtag top performance. Hashtag what a night.
Oh my God, who was the first? Was it Spurs? The first team to win at the San Siro.
Spurs did win at the San Siro. Aaron Lennon breaks away past Marietez, cross it over, Peter Crouch, go!
But whether they're first team to do it, or were we the first team to do it? Because we won at the San Siro. Actually, which club calls it the San Siro? Because I think Inter Milan call it the Giuseppe Meazza. And I think AC Milan call it the San Siro.
Interesting. Look at the cogs turning.
They really are, aren't they? So can you repeat that one for us? Repeat fourth tweet.
Okay. For a little treat, I'll repeat the tweet. 10 years ago today, with one of the most enjoyable games of my career, becoming the first English club to win at San Siro. Hashtag top performance. Hashtag what a night. And I even left this out. Is a little football emoji at the end.
Thank you. That makes the difference. Can I clarify when that tweet was it sent this year, as in 10 years ago? So it was done in that tweet?
Yes, all these tweets are from the last 6 months, I think.
Okay, so you're looking at 2010. Darren Fletcher.
No, this one. I've tried to stagger them in order where it will give you most good. So this is the fifth and final tweet, and this will hopefully kind of pinpoint it for you. So this is a question from Angerin. This was hardest manager you've worked with. Hashtag ask something, which would be this player was operating a kind of Q&A session.
Yeah.
So his response was Conte by far. I always said that coming back and change around his mind about me was one of the most satisfying things I've done in my career. I had to be silent and sweat a lot though.
Oh my God. So Conte is the hardest manager.
Yep, hardest manager, and he seems like he is. He proved him wrong. Is the way that tweet alludes to.
So is that Conte at Chelsea or is it Conte in Italy?
No, this is a Premier League footballer. This is.
Okay, and he was. I was thinking, because he may have been a Premier League footballer that then also played for Conte in Italy.
To give you a little bit more clue, this is when Conte was at Chelsea.
Oh God, that's really recent.
It's so funny. I thought that this would be a situation where you may get it straight away because it's one of those ones where you know the answer and you think, and like it's like when you've got a secret and you're trying to hide it from people. You go, they're gonna get it straight away.
The thing I've got, so he's played for Chelsea. So he's played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I think what's throwing me off is I think he's a central midfielder.
No, he is a central midfielder. You're right.
Don't say that, Josh.
And I think you're onto something when around his idols. You definitely need to kind of think about his idols.
Yeah.
Because that would. And I don't know if the wording of some of his tweets has not been, maybe English isn't his first language. It's not just
Yeah,
me
he's clearly
perfectly reading them out.
Spanish or Portuguese. Cesc Fabregas.
Cesc Fabregas. Check
So
you out.
it was Arsenal that beat them 10 years ago.
Yeah, Arsenal beat them. So yeah, 17 seasons ago, obviously he made his debut for Arsenal. Reece Muamba, I reckon there's probably a little bit of love there because Muamba was a youth player at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Figo and Guardiola, again the Spanish link, and like watching La Liga, beating AC Milan 10 years ago, and then when he was kind of cast adrift by Conte to begin with, and then came back in and showed what he can do, and yeah, it is Cesc Fabregas.
Josh, can I say I love that?
Did you?
I would be well keen to have that again, something like that again. That was great fun. Yeah. All
right.
Yeah, because what threw me off was I started 17 seasons ago in the Prem.
It does seem like an eternity, doesn't it?
That
Because he obviously started very
so
young.
So long ago, but yeah,
That's why
sense.
you kind of went Barry and Fletcher. You're thinking 36, 37-year-olds, whereas I don't know Fabregas is probably like 33, 34, isn't he?
And you can imagine in my head I had this thing where Darren Fletcher always wanted to be either a winger like Figo because he was never had the greatest pace, or a central midfielder like Guardiola, and he was neither. So
did Darren Fletcher ever play on the right side? He must
he
have played
did.
on the right side.
He played on the right side in the 4-4-2 occasionally. Yeah. So.
Of course he did. Of course he bloody did.
Of course he did.
Right. Well done, Dave. Got there in the end. A little bit of help, a little bit of prodding, but
well done, Josh. Great question.
Lovely.
Big fan of that.
Excellent. Right. Well, from the high, let's go to the low of reviewing this weekend's football, shall we?
Yes.
So there was no early kickoff yesterday, so we'll go straight into the 3 o'clocks. And all right, we'll go for it. Chelsea versus Spurs.
Mourinho's making you shit.
Oh yeah, I could have chosen that as a derby. Actually, I go for Idiger Johnson derby, and
he was a pundit, wasn't he, on BT? Oh, you wouldn't have watched it because are you still on your watching Exile?
You know what? I might extend it till August 2020, depending on who we sign. I watched a little bit of it, but I mean, right. First of all, so obviously Spurs lost 2-1. It probably should have been a bit more. I will just this is my opening defence. Okay, I'll go through the Spurs 11. Hugo Lloris coming back from a bad elbow injury, still finding his way back. Japhet Tanganga, first full season in the Spurs senior squad, played a handful of games. Ben Davies just coming back from injury. Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Sanchez. Vertonghen's had a very dodgy season, been in and out of the side, but but Sanchez and Alderweireld, they should be established. Harry Winks, no comment there. He again is established. And Ndombele, Lo Celso, new signings. Lo Celso more is bedding in better. Ndombele is still finding his feet. And then you have Bergwijn, and you have who again was been there a month, and then Lucas, who's getting no excuses. But at least half that side is either coming back from injury or they're new season. They're kind of new to the side, and that will cause some kind of gelling issues.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got the 2 players out injured. So I think it would have been a fool of a Spurs fan to expect much out of this game because of where we're at. New manager, and it's all new. I mean, there's been a little bit of time, but it's still very fresh. But the problem is, I can't work out what's going on.
It's so shit. The football.
I can't work out. There's 11 players out there, and I saw someone tweet. It's like, and it was I think I can't remember what it was, but it's like there's on the outfield players. There's 10 pieces of a jigsaw puzzle that are all from a different box.
That's and I think the manager doesn't help you.
No, because the manager's plugging away, thinking he hasn't spotted they're all from different boxes. He's just going, right, go on, do this, and it's not. There's no philosophy. There's no identity. There's no defensive structure.
Mourinho set that game up to get you guys a draw. And as soon as that didn't happen,
he should realise that's impossible because we cannot keep clean sheets.
Well, welcome to Mourinho. But
the problem,
it's just ridiculous.
defensively, I mean, Toby Alderweireld is like Spurs were faced with losing Eriksson, Vertonghen, and Alderweireld on freeze this summer. We've sold Eriksson, okay, so be it. Vertonghen's not yet signed. Toby signed. I was happy for Toby signed, but he also looks a shadow of the player he was, and I'm not quite sure why. I mean, honestly, part of it is we just haven't had confidence for so long. There's just zero confidence in this side. So you're going a goal down away from home, and we're not thinking, right, we got this, lads. We can score. We can get back into this, especially when you're missing your two best players. But just defensively, like you've got playing five at the back. How from a throw-in can you let a left wing back score by effectively by you being overloaded on the left 2 minutes into the second half? It's horrific.
Yeah, it was all horrific. And I don't agree with Rio Ferdinand very often. I think he's got some very strange views about certain things.
Yes.
But he's right when he comes after the game, and he said, if you're Lucas Moura, Bergwijn, okay, he's new, so he's got to settle in, but still counts. The youngsters like Troy Parrott and those sort of, but you've got another young striker, haven't you? That I think is meant to be quite held in quite high regard. That's not getting much football. Those sort of attacking players. How does it make you feel when the boss comes out and he's like, "Well, it's like trying to fight a war with blank bullets."
Yeah,
it's like it's not, and it's. And if you're struggling that much for players, why is Dele Alli on the bench?
Yeah,
Dele Alli's on the bench because Mourinho loves to come into a club and make an impact on a big name. Everywhere he's gone.
He took him off.
It was Pogba at United. He probably did it to loads of people at Chelsea when he was first there, like when he went back as well. Yeah, and I know why he was on the bench, because of his outburst, wasn't it? He got caught throwing the water bottle and stuff like that. But you can't. He's one of your most creative players. He's going to get you a chance of a goal, if not a goal himself. And you can't have it both ways, where you complain that you don't have good attacking players in there, and then also put one of arguably Spurs' best attacking players on the bench until the 80th minute or whatever it was. And this is why I didn't like Mourinho. And
I'm not anti Mourinho yet. I personally I've just written off this season. We weren't playing well with Pochettino. We've got results under Mourinho, but it's been pretty bleak. I'm just waiting for the season to kind of grind to a halt. Really, we may end up winning something. God, it wouldn't be beyond the wit of man to the fact that we win a FA Cup, and it'd be kind of like, what on earth? How has that happened?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't be beyond it for you to win like the FA Cup and get fourth.
Fifth, we get fifth.
Fourth or fifth,
Champions League.
Yeah.
But there's some things need to change. Lucas Moura is the attack killer. That guy looks up and sees players and runs towards them. It is so frustrating. Run into some fucking space, man. Lamella has been by far the better player whenever he's come on. But I mean, there is some form of hex that Chelsea got against us. We're so poor against them. Marcus Alonso, I think the fact that Spurs fans boo him because of his previous criminal antics when being in charge of a motor vehicle, I think it must rile him up or something. I don't know if other fans do it to him as well, but he has, again, some form of curse over us. And it eases the pressure on Lampard. Not that the media were quick to put him under any pressure, but it eases the pressure because they would have been on the slide, didn't they?
They had, yeah, they had. I don't want to obviously have you send you into a wild staircase spiral of depression, but focusing on the game, I've got to ask, Lo Celso red card. Have you seen it?
Yeah, no red card. Yeah,
it should be.
It's not Lampard's leg breaker. He's never going to break his leg. He's going to cause him some pain. I don't think there's enough force in it to break his leg. But yeah, that's definitely a red card. And I think the VAR have come out, or the referees association have come out and said, yeah, we made a mistake here. But it's, I mean, I can understand a referee making a mistake, but when you're actually looking at camera angles of it, it's not really a mistake at that point. It's just negligence, isn't it?
Yeah, very true. The goals then, I mean, Giroud's goal, very well taken. Great save from Lloris to start, and then Barkley somehow hit the bar from... And it was a bit of a tough half volley, but he hit the bar with the volley, and then Giroud reacted quickest and stuck it past the post.
It annoyed me that the goal, actually, because, okay, one, Giroud's breaking through behind you as a defence, that's pretty poor. Giroud's not known for his pace. He gets a shot away. A second shot gets taken by a Chelsea player. A third shot gets taken by a Chelsea player. I mean, Giroud, when Barkley has a shot, is kind of spiralling around, being frustrated. He still gets the ball to him and gets a third shot in. It's not acceptable to have three shots without any form of challenge.
Yeah, I also think there's a huge deal of luck in that for Chelsea.
Oh, absolutely,
because
yeah.
Lloris could make that first save and it could go behind for a corner, but it didn't. It was a good save. Barkley's shot could have ricocheted anywhere off the bar, but it fell to Giroud, and Giroud could have been like, when either players aren't paying attention with their head on their hands because they've missed a good opportunity, or he could have been partly off celebrating thinking he'd already scored and things like that. So I think it was a bit of luck that the ball fell straight to him, but he took it very well. So
absolutely. I mean, the second goal was really poor from Spurs, but Mason Mount doing well. Mason Mount seems to have been a beneficiary of the winter break. He comes back and he's all firing again. But Marcos Alonso is such a weird player, like one of the worst left backs you'll see, but an elite left wing back. It's very odd.
Yeah, it is.
It's been Lamella and Rudiger's own goal. Rudiger doesn't. I'm not sure how long he's going to take him to get back up to speed, but he does not look anywhere near the player that was before his injury.
No, and he seems to be very uneasy on the left-hand side of the three, because he always wanted to get it back on his right foot.
Yeah, he was a bit ponderous sometimes. Got put out of possession, and not great.
Do you think you'll get fifth? Do you think you'll keep fifth? I mean, if we win today, then we could potentially go above you.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I really need to see how we're going to respond, and if we're going to get any form of goals. So far, since having Kane and Son out, we've scored an own goal, isn't it? So, so let's see how that goes. And we're home to Wolves next. So not exactly easy, but we'll see how it goes.
Just because chatting about Wolves, we're obviously not going to review the game, but in the Europa League, what a goal from Ruben Neves!
Ruben Neves thinking outside the box.
Oh, yeah, lovely stuff. Okay, so moving on then.
Moving on, we'll move on to the Eddie Howe derby.
Oh, he's gone with the manager. Okay.
Yeah, and because I wanted to get this little bit in, because I was like, Eddie Howe was like a 7-year-old on his first sleepover. He tried to sleep over at Burnley, but got Bournemouth to drive and pick him up at 1 a.m. because he missed home.
Where have you got this from?
It made me chuckle, because it was kind of like, I'm just slating on Eddie Howe. Like, I'm going to leave Bournemouth, I'm going to be a big boy and go up north to Burnley. No, it's not working out, mummy, I'm coming back. And now it's not working out from a Bournemouth either. 3-0 Burnley, and Burnley are pushing for Europe now, especially with the Man City piece. It drops down.
I can't believe that. I don't. It's just. Surely, because of Brexit, Burnley aren't allowed in Europe. They've got too many British players or something.
Well, we had it last season when we had that foray. They're going to be nervous about going to Europe this year, aren't they?
Very true, actually, very true. But what do you think about the game? Like, because obviously VAR was massive.
Oh my goodness! I actually feel sorry for Burnley, for Bournemouth in this. Of both those not the shoulder. So we have the two issues. We have Josh King's goal from a corner would have been the opening goal. Philip Billing, I think it hits the peak of his shoulder, I thought, and bounced to Josh King. And then one of the greatest VAR decisions in terms of impact. I think it must have been a corner again, or is it a deep cross? I think it was a deep Neil cross, and Adam Smith defending it. Kind of shoulder. This is a bit more dubious. Kind of shoulder, kind of arm. It bumps it back in, keeps it in play, and from that point, in his own box, Bournemouth go on attack counter and score a goal. Upon reviewing the goal, they take it all the way back, and it's declared a handball in his own box, and it actually so Burnley get the penalty and score from it. So from thinking that it was going to 1-1, it goes to 2-0, and I'm not convinced over either decision. Yourself?
I think they were all correct. I do think they were. I think the Josh King goal is. It's sort of that little point which is still like your arm. Also, something that annoys me. Why is it handball and not called arm ball? That really annoys me.
A lot of it doesn't.
It doesn't hit the hand, arm, does it? It hits your arm.
The majority of the bit that can be penalised is arm. Well, for me personally, the majority of that area there is arm. Some people have very big hands, like those ones. Maybe they fill out that whole thing where you have that pointing thing, like gladiators.
Yeah.
But most of that is arm for me.
Yeah, that's a tangent. We'll get into that another day. Tune in for that podcast. It'll be a thriller.
Yeah, anyone who has more hand than arm on their arm, let me know.
Send us a photo. at Football Talk on Twitter. Yeah, I think it hit where it hit. I think both of them were what is classified as handball. The Adam Smith one was, I think, definitely right. I think the Josh King one could have gone either way, but I think the Adam Smith one, he's moved his body into it to stop it going to Jeff Hendrick, I think it was, at the back post. And it was a stupid decision because it was Jeff Hendrick, so he probably wouldn't have scored.
To be fair, you look at Adam Smith's reaction, he's like, "Oh, I'm fucking gutted here." He looked gutted.
He looked absolutely gutted. But
the double standard of it is that Burnley handballed it clearly. It wasn't intentional. It pinged off Phil Barter, was it? Pinged into his hand in his own box. It's and there's nothing there, but it's just.
I mean, there's more VAR stuff in the Leicester Man City game as well, which we'll get into, like on handballs and things like that. But yeah, I think both of them were. I think the Adam Smith one was correct, and I could see the Josh King one going either way, depending on all the camera angles and stuff like that. So, or the Lerma or Philip Billing, sorry, who was deemed as handball.
But I mean, overall, we go. I mean,
can you XG me? Again. Can you XG me?
I can XG you. It's not as actually big as you think. It's 3.07, so Burnley deserve it. 1.86 for Bournemouth.
Right result then.
Yeah, right result, but scoreline seems a little tad unfair. Burnley smashing. I mean, McNeil again. McNeil, he has got a fantastic delivery on him. He really has.
Yeah.
And he came close once with a shot, then he smashed it again, didn't he? Smashed that one in. Lovely goal. And I wouldn't be surprised if Burnley look to cash in on him sometime soon.
I was just thinking that. I'm going to assume, and this is a big assumption, and you know what assumptions do, Josh? They make an arse out of you and me. That he's not from Burnley with a name like McNeil. He's just come through their youth system. Like, as in, they must have picked him up from somewhere else in Scotland, I'm guessing.
Oh, come on. I imagine the Mooks can travel. His parents could have travelled.
Yeah, very true. Because he may not want to leave if he is Burnley born and bred.
Yeah. Oh, he started his youth career at Manchester United.
Well, the McNeils can travel far. So
yeah, but born in Rochdale. So
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's still young. He'll be 21 this year down in November. But yeah, I would be surprised if. I think he'd be right to stay. He'd be right to stay. No, but it'd be perfect. It'd be the best decision for him would be to stay at Burnley because he's smashing it at Burnley. And they're smashing it in the league. So while all of those things are still there, keep going with it.
Yeah, very true. The other goals, Rodriguez, lovely penalty. We're doing the goals in reverse order, in case anyone's worried.
Yeah, nice.
Really nice pen. Yeah. Vidra's goal. I love it when a striker does a fake shot and it sends a defender sliding on his arse in the wrong direction.
It did. I mean, I really thought it'd take too heavy a touch here, but his second goal in 2 games for Vidra, who I thought would probably never score again.
Yeah.
I am somewhat confused how he got to the ball first. It seemed like it was Ramsdale's ball all day long, but tucks it away.
Yeah.
And
back in form.
Yes.
Burnley on it. All right then. Next.
And now I've chosen this derby because I've never heard of this player, but he only played for both these clubs in kind of 99-2000. Is a Brazilian by the name of Fumaca.
Never heard of him.
You've never heard of me, mate.
Between us, we've got quite a lot of knowledge about football, I'd like to think.
Yeah.
So
maybe it was Fumaca, but if anyone, Palace, Newcastle fans, can tell me who on earth this player was, a Brazilian forward, I think he was.
Did he actually play, or was he just at the club?
Like 3-4 times for each club he played.
Okay.
Not a lot. But I have literally no recollection of him whatsoever. So if anyone can enlighten me, please let me know. But I had this down as a 0-0, and it didn't really end up too much different. But 1-0 to Crystal Palace, and Palace's first win of 2020.
Yeah, and as whilst Roy Hodgson is considering a new contract.
Oh well, then I was having my hair cut the other day, and by a Crystal Palace fan, and. I mentioned to him. I said, so we're chatting because there were some people in there chatting about football, and I was like, and I joined in.
Did you not just go like football talk, YouTube, under your breath, sort of like coughing.
And I mentioned the first thing I mentioned when he said he was a Crystal Palace fan. I went, well, I actually put a bet on them to go down the other week, and he was like, oh right, okay.
Great. Is that when you went from the grade 4 to the grade 2? Yeah.
Maybe that's why I have a haircut. I don't actually like that much. Little sidebar. I went in and asked. I have a 0 skin fade. That's you say grade 4 to grade 2, Dave. I go for a 0 skin fade, and then he goes to me, he pointed at his clippers. So which one of these would you like me to use? I'm like, I thought I'd given you all the information you needed. I'm not picking your fucking clippers for you, mate.
That's your job, mate.
Yeah.
Like,
So then he proceeded to give me a haircut. I was like, okay, this is not quite what I wanted, but it's all right. And then at the end, when coming to pay, he goes, "So how much is it?" I'm like, "What?"
Well, it's free.
What
it's
do you
free,
mean, how
mate.
much
Yeah,
is
it's free.
it?
Don't worry about it.
How much do you normally pay? I'm like, I'm not choosing your clippers for you. I'm choosing your pricing structure.
Yeah.
Do something for yourself.
How much do you normally pay? Well, Bob always gets it for me, so he's in the back. Do you want me to show you where the back is? You might not know. So
you showed me a mirror. Yeah, so that was my haircut this week. To a Crystal Palace fan, and he was not a big fan of Wilfried Zaha.
Okay.
But Wilfried Zaha made a little bit of a difference today. Obviously, as a constant thorn in the side, and it led to a lovely textbook red card professional foul yesterday. Yeah. No arguments. Literally, is walking before the card comes out from Zaha.
I love those ones.
Yeah, you know it. You know you're good to go. Let's just keep going. But I didn't think Crystal Palace were going to get this. I thought Crystal Palace was going to get results against better sides, and I wouldn't put Newcastle in the better side rank, because this again is another argument for worst performance of the season, yet again involving Newcastle.
Yeah, they are really not. Wow, if defenders don't score for them, they can't score goals. Very similar to Crystal Palace, actually, but it's just. I just don't get Newcastle. I don't understand it. They're 14th, but they've conceded more goals than 2 of the bottom 3.
Yeah, they've got one of the worst goal differences in the league. I think. Yeah, both 2 of the bottom 3 have better goal differences than them.
Yeah, I just.
I imagine a lot of Newcastle fans are disheartened.
And where would they be? It would be so much worse without Dubravka. 2 fantastic saves from corners, headers. Gary Cahill and Scott Dan.
Both similar flick-ons. Yeah.
I just don't. It must be so depressing to be a Newcastle fan. You've got a manager that you probably don't really want, and you've got an owner that you just hate. So
yeah, and you've got players, and you've spent money this year, but you signed players who aren't really firing, are they?
No, exactly. So talking of haircuts, Josh, next time you're at the hairdresser, ask for a Van Arnholt. I reckon that'd suit you.
I reckon it'd suit me well. Lovely free kick, wasn't it?
It was a lovely free kick.
He's got a good attacking instincts in him, hasn't he, Van Arnholt?
Very similar to Marcus Alonso. You wouldn't pick him as a defensive player.
No, in flat back 4, he will be a liability defensively, but attacking wise, he's the relegator, isn't he? He's relegated a few sides with his goals.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's not the relegator, is he? That's there's a few of them now. Who's the Roger Johnson? Was it the relegator?
Nigel Quasi. Unfortunate to see here the Benteke goal scoring run stopped. Ended, didn't it?
Yeah. He should have scored. Definitely should have scored. But yeah, bless him. Oh, I'm just trying to think,
see what Igalo can do.
Because obviously we've got a few listeners that watch my other YouTube channel. Oh. And I'll spoilers on here. If you care about my transfers on that, save for folks in Invicta, just shut your ears for a little bit or skip forward for 10 seconds. I've signed Christian Benteke for Folkes and Invicta in League 1.
Have you?
Yeah. He's absolutely dreadful.
Why have you signed him?
Because he's different to my other strikers, Josh. Plan B. He's got 2 goals. He's scored me 2 goals already. Headers, obviously.
Textbook.
Yeah. So there you go. A little bit of
nice
advertisement as well. Go and check it out. Cultured Left Foot. I've heard he's brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Check him out.
So, but yes, other than that, the game was pretty crap, wasn't it? So
yeah, pretty crap. We'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Crystal Palace, that was a good win for them. Put them above Newcastle. I'd say both sides are safe, but
yeah,
I'd say both sides are safe. But I think, and I'd say both sides are probably would hope for a change in the summer of something different. But I don't think either of them will get it.
Yeah, agreed. Can't argue. Yeah. Can't argue that one.
All right, we'll move on to now the Colin Kazim Richards derby.
Kazim, so good they named him twice when he moved to Turkey.
He's played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 foreign countries. Can you name them, Dave?
Oh, Turkey.
Tick.
France.
Tick.
Holland.
Tick. Oh my goodness, is he going to do it?
I'm struggling now. I think that's my lot. America?
South America.
South
he played
America.
for Brazil. He's played in Mexico, and he's played in Greece.
Oh wow,
He's
there you
been
go.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he wasn't there today. I think he's still out in Mexico or Brazil. It was Sheffield United versus Brighton, and ended 1-1. And this is a very good point for Brighton, I'd say.
It is, yeah, a very good point for Brighton. They've done
But
well.
also a landmark point for Sheffield United, reaching the 40-point mark with 11 games left to go.
Yeah. I mean, Tottenham and Sheffield are safe.
Guys, who would have thought Brighton drawing to Sheffield United would have aided Man United's attempts to get in the Champions League? If you told someone that, you'd be like, "What?"
I know.
Who's that? How? Which one's helping who? Even at the start of the season, you'd have said that had been Brighton above Sheffield United. I'd have thought.
I think if you did a canvas of everybody that put some sort of bet on who would finish bottom of the Premier League, 90% of it would have said Sheffield United.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
yeah. I mean, I did. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd have gone that. Yeah, and no, it has not been the case. They have reached their 40-point mark, and it's now, what can they do? What can they achieve? Champions League is still there. It's going to get tougher as the season goes on, I'd say, as injuries mount up, because I think Ender Stevens went off injured here, and they've got a very core group of players. But no, it'll be. I mean, if a Champions League qualification, and if they got into the group stages, how would that rank in achievements for a season?
it would be incredible. They must be the highest. If that happens, they must be the highest finishing promoted team ever. I mean, obviously, probably in Division 1, someone probably got promoted and won it that next year. But can you think of a promoted team that finished higher in their first season if they get fifth?
I want to say the Norfolk and Suffolk club.
Ipswich
so I want to say
did it
Ipswich.
once, yeah. But Ipswich
And I wanna s-
yeah, they may have been fifth actually, yeah.
And I want to say Norwich did something similar when they were vying for the title. I thought they did it when they came.
Yeah, so that was 92. So that's when it changed from League 1 to the Prem. So I didn't really count that.
Did one to Premier. Okay, right.
So
No, it's good. I mean, especially if they get Champions League and actually qualify for it, because Ipswich got UEFA Cup at that time, didn't they? And they've signed Finney George.
Yeah.
But if they were to get Champions League football, that would be, I mean, that would just be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it?
it'd be brilliant. I'd love to see which players are suddenly interested to move to Sheffield United.
Yeah.
It'd be brilliant. It'd be absolutely. And I don't mean that derogatory. It may have sounded it, but it would be fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
That is such a springboard for continued success, isn't it?
yeah, exactly.
To maintain that extra money in there, you can do stuff. You can get those players in, which can, replacing players and getting that side really up to speed. And yeah, that would be brilliant. One thing I noticed in this match, I've spoken about in recent weeks, that we have. I have a couple of players who wear their socks low. They've got the flair to back it up. I like it. Ollie McBurney, you are not that player. You are wearing your socks low, but you do not have the style of play to back that up. Pull those socks right up, please.
Are you talking like Thierry Henry over the kneecap right up?
Oh,
or
no,
can he not
just,
pull that up either? Just normal.
No. Standard sock length, please.
Nice. I mean, I think we've covered that game.
Covered it. Done. Tick.
Niels, thoughts on Maupay? I always struggle to say Niels Maupay. I think it is.
Neil Maupay. Where he comes back in, gets a goal, and he has a knack of scoring. He's not got a good turn of pace. There's nothing that stand out about him, but
No.
he is proved to be it's his first season in the Premier League, making a step up. Was it Brentford? Was it last year?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been okay for them. I don't think he's ever. I think he'll be always. He won't ever take Brighton to the heady heights.
It'll always be in Glenn Murray's shadow. Is that what you're trying to say? So.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are in Glenn Murray's shadow. Yeah.
Very true.
Shout out to Sanderberg. Sanderberg, doing very well for Sheffield United so far. Slotted straight in, good on the ball, up and down. So I think that's the kind of signings that Sheffield United are making just with Premier League football. So I think what they're going to make if they get to European football as well.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. Hinders on holding Chris Wilder at the club, I think.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think he will stay. I think he will stay for another season.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But Brighton are on the cusp of safety. They're still because
they're
the top of that other pack, aren't they? They'll be, as the weekend finishes, they'll still be in 15th, but it's still precarious, can change very quickly.
I mean, you have got to say their goal difference does help.
Absolutely, it's a point, isn't it? Basically, a point of a stage.
Yeah, they do have an extra point with that. So, but yeah, all right.
All right, we'll move on and we'll talk about the Hassan Kashlul derby. Do you remember Hassan Kashlul?
I do remember Hassan Kashlul. Yeah.
Part of me chose it because it's such a good name to say.
Yeah.
Hassan Kashlul. Yes. Southampton versus Villa, and it's a bit of change here. So obviously Dean Smith, the Villa manager, he does look like a slightly smarter dressed builder. It doesn't really strike me as a fantastic manager, and he turned on his players this time.
He did.
Post-match, he turned on them and said that I've defended them a lot, but this was awful. I shouted him at half-time, but he did. But and it's fair. He's right. It was abject. Maybe I've heard a few comments recently about how West Ham fans have been saying, I wish my team showed as much desire, but they did not show it there today. Yesterday, sorry.
And it does seem to be with Villa. If you can nullify Grealish, they are screwed.
Completely nullifies it all, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they've got nothing else really. He laid on a couple of balls for the new striker, Sumatra, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
One of them, I think, did he score? But it was offside. I can't remember that one.
He did. Yes, it was offside. Grealish put him through.
And I just think, it's going to be my worry is the League Cup final could be another absolute hammering.
Do you know what? It's one of those things, right, where it just seems like it's set a precedent ever since, was it Middlesbrough got to the cup final and got relegated? I almost feel like it's the rite of passage for a promoted side or a kind of under-established Premier League side to do well in the League Cup and get relegated.
Yeah.
It just kind of fits the bill, so I can completely see them having a lovely day out at Wembley, getting smashed and also getting relegated. And
their only saving grace this weekend is the fact that West Ham play Liverpool, so you'd expect Liverpool to win, and Watford travel to Old Trafford, where you would expect Man United to win. I mean, it might not happen. So they should stay above the relegation zone come the end of the weekend, come the end of the football.
I mean, just we'll touch slightly on Man City 2, West Ham 0, which was at the end of last week, and West Ham rocking a fantastic 0.09 XG. One of the worst I've seen.
0.09. Was it like a back pass to Edison?
So we had. It looks like we had, and that was from the 73rd and 83rd minute of a restoration. Oh no, there was something else in the 32nd minute shot of 0.04, and then 73rd and 80 something minutes. Like wow, they were never in it. So Jesus. And West Ham are in a right old sorry state. So. It's a bit of a battle down there. It's a bit of a battle.
Yeah. Nice.
Especially with David Moyes in the business of winning.
Oh bloody hell. But Southampton like playing Villa because it was before Christmas, wasn't it? They played Villa and won, and it put them on that really good run to get them out of the relegation zone, where Hassan turned it around.
And Southampton, I mean, if Shane Long's scoring, you know something's quite wrong there. But Southampton really did not look great up front. I think they could have had a lot more goals if they had something. I mean, Danny Ings is done very well this season, but I really can see this being a bit of a one-off. If I don't see Danny Ings. Danny Ings is in that kind of purple vein of form, which I don't see gets repeated very often. It's going to be like a kind of Michael Rickett season for him, I think.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Southampton have always had a bit of issue with strikers, haven't they? Because they've never really had an out-and-out goal scorer since.
Ooh, where are you going to go back to, Dave?
Yeah, where am I going to go back to? Yeah.
We've had some players, but it's never been consistent. So Ricky Lambert had a very good season. Graziano Pella had a decent season. Nothing too stand out. Obviously, James Beattie's had a very good season. They had Havel, but it's very hard for a club like that to maintain a striker for seasons after seasons because they will just get picked off by a bigger club.
Yeah, who was the striker that the previous manager brought in before Hughes? The Argentinian guy, Carrillo.
Oh, that was Pochettino bring.
No, he didn't. There was it might have been, but then there was another striker that was brought in. If it was, and I'm getting the names mixed up. There was.
Do you mean the one? who fought, who had that fight? Daniel
Osvaldo. Danny Osvaldo.
Yeah,
It's
Daniel
not who
Val-
I'm
Daniel
thinking of,
Val-
but he was a right character. Who is the guy that's got a name similar to Pochettino that managed Real Madrid? Managed Southampton.
Yes, Pellegrino.
Pellegrino. He signed a striker who was terrible, and it's his name.
He did. He signed him from Atletico.
Was that
Madrid,
Guido Carrillo?
No, it was. Oh, this is embarrassing.
Well, it's not, because he obviously wasn't that good. So
no, it was Carisco. Was it? I would say Carisco, something like that.
oh yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. I'm just sorry. We're taking a tangent from the pod. This is Carrasco. No, not Carrasco. He's the really good guy playing for back at Atletico Madrid. It doesn't matter. He was terrible. That guy, they're still paying some of his wages at his next club. So
it was Carrillo. Guido Carrillo.
Yes, I was right. Yeah. Good.
It was Monaco. They signed Monaco. Guido Carrillo. Yes.
That's
yes.
it.
God, we know it, Dave. Let's edit that. We'll look like bloody superstars.
Yeah, but it's also a lot of work, Josh. So
yeah. Oh, we'll just let
we'll let that be.
Let that be. Now I want to have a little shout out, and I think I called Pepe Reina's transfer as a bit like, they'll be fan. He had a fucking shocker yesterday. He was all over the shop, right? Now these are some standout moments. When your goalkeeper has got a yellow card for fouling someone outside his box, and also goes up for a corner and concedes a goal from it, you know it's been a bit of an eventful game for the goalkeeper. Neither he should not be in an opponent's box or get a yellow card. That is not normal. And he also had a couple other kind of rushings out. I think maybe he's frustrated and wants to try and make an impact on the game, but it was just all over the shop.
Also, he is so exuberant in his claim of handball for Shane Long's goal, which very clearly hit his thigh.
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, Pepe Reina must have said something. Like,
and he did the thing where he didn't know where to look for the assistant referee. Like, he looked to the wrong touchline and said handball, then looked behind his goal thinking he was obviously in the Europa League 2 seasons ago, like saying handball, and then looked at the other assistant who was obviously running back to the halfway line because it had been a goal. It was brilliant.
No one see me.
But yeah.
He obviously had a lovely reaction last weekend when Spurs.
Was that pulling the shorts up?
Pulling the shorts up. Great short pull. That was something for the fans of Thigh. The Thigh fans.
The Thigh fans, yeah. Well, we all appreciate Pepe Reina's thighs. I think.
Yeah.
I think we all appreciate him.
He's a very huggable. I think I reckon he gives out a good hug. Does Pepe Reina?
Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I could see
good
that.
Hug.
So,
yeah.
Oh, what a way to end that review. Let's go on to Leicester Man City.
The Danny Tiatto derby.
Oh, lovely. Not Riyad
Now, I
Mahrez.
mentioned Danny Tiatto. No, I mentioned.
What?
Do you know what that makes me feel? That makes me feel what everybody who listens to this must say to the podcast when I do my derbies. So when I did the Arding Johnson, I'm like, not Jose Mourinho. You're not picking the obvious ones. No, I'm not picking the obvious ones. That's the fucking point. It's an education piece. Danny Tiatto, former Man City and Leicester left back, Australian.
And Spurs? Did he have a...
No.
Who am I thinking of? Oh,
He
Tarico.
also...
I'm thinking of Tarico.
Mauricio Tarico. Danny Tiatto, I remember him once. He, you know the old punt it ahead of you and run onto it jobby?
Yeah.
I remember he did this once for Man City and got into the end of the punt forward and scored, but got flagged offside and he had no comeback for it because it wasn't a time of VAR. It's like, he's kicked it onto himself.
That's amazing. Bloody hell.
Could be offside. Could you be offside from?
No, you can't be offside from your own punt.
Why not? If you do a back heel.
Because if
you do a back heel, right?
No, you can't because you're not passing it to anyone else. It's not a pass, is it? It would count as a dribble.
Yes, it's not the fact that when the ball's played, you're ahead of. So
well,
right,
no, you're playing it to yourself.
Right, but when the ball was played, your body was ahead of the ball. Yeah.
No.
If you've really dug out in front of you, right?
You can't be offside from your own pass. That's why you can do the thing if someone's walking back from an offside position. You can pass the ball round them and run onto it yourself.
Yeah. I've just been trying to be too clever there.
Yeah, you're not going to get me like that, Josh.
Don't shout at me, people. I'm trying to be too clever.
Right.
I'm really fucking stupid. I'm trying to be too clever.
And also, He'd never been able to pull that off. A back heel over his own head to get onto the end of it. A punt up in the air, I can understand, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be it. Effectively, if you're flicking over your head, wouldn't it? Yeah.
No, it wouldn't. But
no,
fine.
See, no, it's not, Dave. Right? I'm going to reiterate the point. The bit you're talking about. Say you play a through ball to someone, and there's players ahead of you.
Yeah.
And that person, I'm offside. But then the defence doesn't react. You run through to that ball, okay?
Yeah.
You're not offside because you're behind the line of all the players, weren't you?
Yeah.
There's two. But if you're ahead of those
players, are you
players,
doing this to wind me up, Josh? If you pass the ball to yourself, you can't be offside. And what? He's winding me up. Right, fucking get on with the review. Right, Aguero missed a penalty. Yes. Kasper Schmeichel saved it. Like, Aguero's terrible at penalties.
Man City are terrible at penalties.
Yeah.
5 out of their last 7 they've missed. Christ.
I mean, yeah.
Get Ederson on penalties.
Everybody wants to see it.
Yeah. You've got nothing to play for in the league. Just go for it. Just get Ederson on penalties. Christ.
Especially now, because they beat the team in third. Second is yours, Man City.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what are they like by? They're clear by a few points, aren't they?
7 points.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're missing them anyway. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yes, they may go up the other end and score like Pepperina, like do a Pepperina. All right, that may happen. But it's exciting. Make the league exciting.
No, right. If he's that good at penalties, as Guardiola suggests, who has also said that Phil Foden is the best player he's ever trained with, but if Ederson is that good at penalties, if the keeper goes the right way and saves it, it's a corner, so he can just trot back to his goal. If he's that good at penalties, they're not getting saved. But do you know what I mean? He'll be able to put them in a position where the keeper has to have a full stretched out arm to save it, which means he can't catch it and then be a quick counter attack.
Very rarely. I mean, I would say. Now, I obviously have no stats to back this up. I've saved penalties when the defence then get to clear it.
Corner.
I'd say it's always they just lashing out of play.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, get it up the pitch, because what?
They're not thinking, I'll shoot from here.
That would be fantastic. So you hook it behind you, because I would love to see the layout of the players at that point, because nearly all of them will be
around the
kind
box.
Of like, yeah, it'll be a leg race. Oh yes, please, love a leg race as opposed to a hand race.
Yeah.
Actually, I like to call them arm races because I don't.
True. Yeah.
Oh, they do call it a foot race, don't they? Oh, I've lost it, Dave. I've lost it.
This podcast has got. Welcome back. Winter break. The winter break's affected us, Josh. That's what's happened.
Yeah, it has.
Right.
Crazy.
To the game. Jamie Vardy hit the post.
Jamie Vardy, yep. He's booked off the ball massively, isn't he?
He has. I think he just needs a goal to get his confidence back. But yeah, Ederson was out very quickly, made it quite difficult for him. Sergio Aguero missed from the spot, as you said. Kasper Schmeichel saved it, and it was his fourth. I think did I read fourth penalty saved in the Premier League?
More than his dad.
Yeah, sorry, Kasper Schmeichel saved it, didn't he? Not Sergio Aguero missing. Yeah, Sergio Aguero's missed loads. Yeah, Kasper Schmeichel saved it, and Guardiola was happy. Like, don't ask me about the attitude of the players. Yeah, cheers, Pep.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see how they go midweek. I'm thinking they could do some damage in the old Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for them. Oh, I'd like to see them win the Champions League.
Oh, fuck off.
I would.
They've cheated their way to it, Josh. Should they get their titles taken off them? If UEFA have said they've broken financial fair play and they've bought players with money that they shouldn't be allowed to have, should their titles be taken off them?
No.
Will the Premier League do something? Should they have to? If they've been found guilty of UEFA financial fair play, they must have failed Premier League financial fair play. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would give Liverpool a title, which I don't really want to happen. So
no, but if they were to do it this season, it would put a little bit. I imagine it might put a little bit of dampener on the Liverpool title win. Going, oh, we've already got one. It's not our first ever.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Very
true. But no, I mean, Leicester have really just kind of meandered through the last kind of.
They know they're in the Champions League, so.
Yeah, it makes it almost impossible for them to drop out. I'd say now.
Yeah.
You can really kind of sleepwalk into the top 5 now. I'd say.
Exactly.
Okay.
Quick preview.
What we got, Dave? What's going on?
United Watford kicking off relatively soon.
The Oddie and Igalo derby.
The Igalo derby. He's going to score today.
Is he?
Yeah, he should have scored against Chelsea. Really, he had a really good effort. Forced a very good save. I mean, he fucked up a 1-on-1, but yeah, he should have scored. I think he's going to score today, and I'm going to say a comfortable 2-0 win for Man United.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's not what I want to hear.
So, or Watford will win 2-1 and Delafeu will score 2 because he loves playing against us, even when he was at
Does
Everton.
he?
Yeah, even when he
Okay.
was at Everton, played well. Wolves v. Oh, what do you think? Man United, Watford.
I know. Hope will take over here. I hope it's a draw.
Okay.
Is Pogba ever going to play for you again?
Yeah, I think he will play again. I don't know when or where. Maybe a testimonial.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
No, I think he will. Yeah, I think he'll come back and play again. I think he will.
Okay.
Wolves Norwich is also on at 2:00 Sunday today.
Yeah, that's a Wolves win written all over it.
Yeah, a comfortable Wolves win. I've got there.
I
And
do
then-
wonder when Wolves are going to break though, because they are just really bleeding like Jimenez and Hotter, and
Yeah,
they're bleeding them dry. But
very true. So, and then later on today, Arsenal Everton.
the Arteta derby.
Yeah, the Mikel Arteta derby, Theo Walcott
Yep.
derby.
Yeah.
no.
Oh, Everton have been on a pretty good run of form. Arsenal obviously played Europa League. I think this will be a draw.
Okay, I'm going for an Arsenal
Draw.
win, 2-1. I think.
Score draw. Yeah, yeah. I know. I think Calvert-Lewin will grab a goal. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be-
I mean,
yeah.
you're getting precise now. I didn't ask for goal
I am,
scorers.
yeah.
So, Liverpool West Ham Monday night. Sponsored by Renault. I think is it now sponsored by Renault on Sky?
It is sponsored by Renault. Yeah. I mean, is there? Do we talk to that?
Well, David Moyes is in the industry of winning. So 4-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, it's going to be horrific. Absolutely horrific.
Yeah, it will. Excellent. Well, yeah. Oh, you're hosting this one.
I am hosting this one, Dave, and so we'll move on from the review of this week's games to the wiki file. Sent me,
I
Dave.
got a wiki file. Here comes a wiki file. I got a wiki file for you. Ooh.
Oh, little flourish.
Little flourish for you there, Josh. So, Josh has sent me a wiki file of a player who had a youth career in and around London. 2000 to 2001 was at Wimbledon. The original Wimbledon, I'd imagine, as well. Not that AFC nonsense that are now playing. No, AFC's real. MK Dons are the nonsense team.
Oh,
Sorry, Wimbledon fans.
baby.
I might edit that out because that could cause riots. 2001 to 2003, Luton Town still in the youth team, but that he progressed there. 2003 to 2005, Luton Town, 56 appearances, 2 goals in the senior team. That got him a move to West Bromwich Albion. 2005 to 2008, 65 appearances, 2 goals. That got him a very interesting loan switch to Aston Villa during that time from West Brom. 12 appearances, 1 goal in the 2007-2008 season. In the 2008-2011 season, he actually signed for Villa in 2008 and played for them till 2011. 37 appearances, 2 goals. That's not very many per season. Although he had 2 seasons there actually, because the next one is 2010-2011. He joined Leicester on loan, where he played 12 times, not scoring a solitary goal. 2011 saw him move to Birmingham. Loves the Midlands. Absolutely loves it. Yeah, West Brom, Aston Villa, Leicester, Birmingham, tick. Birmingham City 2011-2013, 89 appearances, 11 goals. His highest goal scoring season yet.
Decent, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not too bad. 2013 got him a move to Hull City, where he stayed until 2017, playing 123 times with 4 goals. That's not very good compared to 11 in 89. And then he's still currently playing at Derby County, 2017 until the present day, 52 appearances, 1 goal. Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Well, this is very interesting, Josh, because I also have on my YouTube channel a back to Prem save with Derby County currently going on.
Oh.
And I have no idea who this is. Yeah. So he's still playing for Derby, and he is playing 52 appearances in 2.5 years. That'll be since 2017.
Let me break that down for you. 17-18, 46, 18-19, 5, 19-21.
Oh God. Okay. I'm going to go
Probably in your reserves, you haven't
defender.
noticed. Yes, they are a centre back.
A centre back. Yeah, that was going to be my thing. And Aston Villa. Of course it was. Yeah, of course it was. He's obviously. Yeah. This is tough.
All right,
It's really thrown me off as well that you've gone British. You don't do that. That's my job.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I like them foreign.
I'm trying to think. So where is most Premier League games would have been? Oh, really spread out. Actually. Yeah.
All of his Aston Villa time was Premier League. One of his Birmingham City seasons was Premier League. 3 of his whole seasons out of the 4 Premier League, and one of his West Brom seasons was Premier League. So he's done it for all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
But it'll be probably his Villa time. His Hull time.
No, James Chester's not at Derby, and that would be a lot later at Villa as well.
It's the wrong way around, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Oh no, this is Josh. This is a good one.
So he has 3 under-21 caps for England. I'll give you a little clue there. That's it.
Oh, it's Oh, I could have got this. I didn't need that last little clue. It's Curtis Davies.
It is Curtis Eugene Davies.
It is, and I should have got that.
Why? What made you? Did you not think it was English? I don't
know.
No, I feel like
I should have got it because I sold him straight away for Derby County. Yeah, and
Who'd you sell him to?
Oh, someone terrible, I think. So did I sell him or did I just put him in the reserves because no one wanted to buy him and let his contract run out? But yeah, yeah. I never knew you played for Leicester. That's an interesting one. Never knew that.
No, I didn't either. That was a championship loan. That was.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. He was on the verge of an England call up at one point.
Yeah, he was in a couple of squads, but never made it on the field. So as a Capello time, he made some squads.
Okay.
He was always okay. He had some good seasons. I remember he was a good stalwart for Hull in that time, but I've never been overly enamoured with him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, true. 11 in 89 for Birmingham is pretty good going.
That's a strange return, isn't it? Let's have a little look at that. So, yeah, it was 42 appearances, 5 goals, 41 appearances, 6 goals, and a little bit elsewhere. But yeah, not bad for a centre back.
Good Wikifile, Josh. Threw me off going British. Don't do it again.
No, I personally didn't like doing it. It felt dirty.
Yeah.
Felt dirty for me. Right, that is Wikifiles done. Dave's already smashed the quiz. We've talked about this week's football. We've talked about the news. Is there any other business from you, Dave?
No, I don't think so. Leave your comments below. Let us know how you feel. We did have some actually, yes, because we had some replies to our the last podcast, obviously 2 weeks ago. We had some replies about the your career as a footballer. Remember we talked about that? Yeah. So we had Ross got in touch and said he would have started at Reading. His move to Norwich would have been his first big move. Then Tottenham. He would have joined you at Barcelona.
Oh, nice.
He then would have gone straight to the MLS from Barcelona to Portland Timbers because they give each player who scores a sawed-off piece of tree. That's obviously a selling point for him. And then on to Brentford, and then ended at his hometown club, Chesham United. And then we had Gajo as well got in touch and said it would be he's American, so he'd start at FC Dallas, move to QPR, and then Bayer Leverkusen, on to Spurs, Crystal Palace, back to Bayer Leverkusen, and finished himself off at FC Dallas. He fancied himself a bit of a return. Finish his career off, yeah. But he might have finished himself off in FC Dallas. I hope, you know.
Yeah.
A returning
Lonely
hero,
nights.
he said. A defensive right back with a cheeky free kick on him. He'd be an American international captaining the US national team to a World Cup semi-final in front of a home crowd in 2026. I love the fact he said he didn't go whole hog. Final, captain to the win. Yeah. No, semi-final. That's where American get to in 2026.
I'm thinking he's going to be not American, but kind of like Phil Bardsley or Chris Baird had that kind of real defensive right back sewn up. But if I was going to put an American on him who played in the Premier League, kind of like a Carlos Bocanegra, real defensive. Probably want someone who falls short of the stature of a centre back, but so plays right back. Yeah,
I'll give you another one. Eric Lehigh. Can you remember him? Had a name Lichaj. Lichaj.
I'm not even sure there's a C in there. I think there's a Lehaj.
Oh, is it just it might be. But that was the only other business I had, Josh. So.
I'll and further to that, obviously we announced our ones, didn't we? I created you a little Wikipedia profile, didn't I?
You did. People poked holes in it straight off the bat.
Straight off the bat, because
7 goals I scored for England when I was 1.
Yes, but I've since edited it, so we can obviously adapt to this. So you can see Dave's profile as a player. And do you know what's made me think, Dave?
Go on.
I'm not sure this is going to be my standard one, but I might create myself a Wikipedia style CV for my actual Josh Call's career. Like, have that and go, Josh Call born, and you can't have date of birth on them, but the date, the age range, for the
What do you
position
put
will
in
be.
for appearances and goals?
Appearances would be how many days I did at work at those places, a rough estimate. And goals, I might do kind of like major achievements, something like that, or would that be honours? But I'd probably just make up a goals tally.
Okay.
But appearances, I'll try and
Maybe
liken
you could
it
do
to
like
days at work.
You could work out your total days at work could be your appearances every day you work for them, and then in brackets could be like the amount of days you had off sick. So it could be like 207 in brackets 1.
Yes, nice, like that, Dave. But I could have, obviously, position would be currently a finance manager, youth career could be my schools, my education, but then also have it. That's not just the only thing, but you then go into. You could have it so you look like you'd click on like personal life. You always have a little bit about yourself, but then like my companies would be the sections. I'd write about my bits, and I think laying it out like a Wikipedia page, I think would be a standout element of a CV.
I'd love to see that, Josh, if you do it. Obviously, you don't have to post it online if you don't want to, but you can send it to me because it would be brilliant.
Yeah.
If you did want to see Josh will do the outro in a minute, but if you did want to see what Josh created for my Wikipedia career, it is on the Football Talk Twitter. So
I was tempted to use it as a Wikifiles, and Dave would have been stumped over guessing it. But except the only bit would have really thrown it off would have been one. He'd have guessed it went into Miami at a player who played for them, and Folkestone Victor. But other than that, a career of Charlton, Southampton, Man United, Real Madrid, and Fulham, he'd have been like, God, who is it?
Who is this player? Who is this player? Who scored for England when they were like 1?
Don't look at the years.
Actually, 9. Sorry, I was 9 when I scored my.
Oh, come on, you can do that at 9. Give it back yourself.
I scored my 6 goals for 6 goals in 78 appearances at the age of 9 for England.
Oh, okay, Dave. Just quickly on this, I based your appearances and goals record on an actual player. Do you care to guess what the player that was?
Oh, okay. Rio Ferdinand.
That is far too many goals for Rio Ferdinand.
John Terry.
No, it was Steve Bruce.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was the last 18 seasons of his career or something like that, and it was Steve Bruce. But the under 21s, the England stuff, was based on John Terry.
Yeah, excellent.
Because Bruce did not have the established England career that you were so craving.
No, exactly. Love that.
Right.
Love that, Josh.
Right, okay, we'll leave that there. Unless you have any other business, we'll leave it there, and you can listen to us every week. We'll release something every week. We're on our YouTube channel, Football Talk. Go for our back catalogue. If you don't want to use YouTube, you can go on SoundCloud. You can go on Spotify, where you'll find us, and you'll also find us on Twitter at Football Talk. But remember,
there's no A in football.
No A in football, but we normally tweet out random things, and we'd obviously that's a point to you, a place where you can talk to us and let us know what you think. So please subscribe, like, and tweet and follow us. And until next time, goodbye.